Hey everyone, how you doing? Different video for you here today. There's this little gem of a game called Factory Town. If you like automation, this game is fun. It's 3D. It's not crazy graphic heavy, but it does look good for what it does have to offer. Its gameplay is amazing. I've actually played this game through a few times before this most recent update, and now I've played through a little bit again here, and I honestly think this game is ready for a good, those series of Let's Plays. So let's go ahead and check this game out. We're going to start from day one and go through the entire tutorial, and I'll try to teach you what I've learned, and maybe you might pick yourself up a copy. It's a great little game. So let's go ahead and start a new game here. We're going to go through the different biomes. There's whole different types. So I'm actually moving my mouse cursor out. I'm using my mouse wheel to zoom in and out here. It'll give you a good preview of your biomes. So you can go plateaus. These ones are actually kind of neat. Challenging. You got this is just crazy challenging. You can go flat. You can go empty, you can do craters. There's a whole bunch of different ones here. And there's this one here, which is a desert cliffs, which is kind of neat. So we, I think, are going to go with islands. I don't really like islands. There's too much water. We'll go with lakeland, actually, with this playthrough here. We're not going to change anything else except for map size. We're going to go with infinite so that we just keep going if we wish. And you can actually go to available biomes. And there's different ones in here you can activate or take away. So you can customize a lot here, but we're going to just go with your basic lakeland. You can even come in here with your random seed and actually randomize it. So you like the idea, but you kind of want a little bit of a different playscape. I like this one. This one really stands out to me. So we're going to go ahead and create it. Everything else, default. No creative mode, nothing. So let's create that. There we go. And this is your first look at Factory Town. Now your first objective, if you didn't change the option, is going to be to place your base. Now what I like to do is make sure I place my base close to food, stone, and trees. And at least iron somewhere close by so that you can expand here in the future. So we got some carrots here. We got a little bit of sugar, which is cool. We got some cotton up here. There's grain and tomatoes right here and some more grain down here. So I think right here would be a good spot to place a base because we got some stone there and we got some trees right here too, and herbs for a little bit down the road. So we're gonna press B, open that up, bang, that's our base right there. All right, and then we're gonna click the check mark, get through the tutorial. And it's going to ask us to left click on the worker and gather some trees. So what you want to do is left click the worker, then go over to the tree, left click it again, and then left click on your base. So what you just told the worker to do is go gather trees from over here and go put it in the base storage. Now your base is the best storage in the game, period. You can store tons. Not really a lot of different items, but you can store a lot of the same item. So it's going to ask us to collect 15 wood. It should only take this guy a few seconds here. So I'm going to go ahead and get a few of these guys gathering stone for me, because standing around is really doing nobody any good. Actually, you good, sir. You can gather grain. There we go. Putting our city center right near the waterfront. I think that looks nice there. So now that we got people gathering, we actually need a place for them to stay. And we need to increase our population to do more gathering, more workers. Now, eventually, my end goal is to actually build the homes in a very, very flat area. There's tools to do that. But you don't need to worry because you can actually place stuff and then move it around. We're actually going to go ahead, place down a house right there. Yeah, not a big deal. Get through that quest. Okay, so now it's going to go on and tell us that our population has increased and we've got more workers, as you can see up here, 4 or 6 workers. And it's going to ask us to actually place those new workers near our house over here. So what they're doing over here, what this guy is doing, is he's actually storing grain for us. That no one will come and actually get this grain unless you tell them to. So now that we have the house placed here, if you need to move something, you press the M button, grab it, and then you can move it. So you don't have to rebuild it, tear it down, and rebuild it, worry about any of that stuff. So once you're able to have the extra money you can modify the landscape and actually make yourself a pretty cool looking town. Okay, so we placed our house. Let's do the quest. It's going to ask us to place both of these brand new people that are coming into town. And now it is going to tell us to left click a worker and click on grain or food, because we need food for our town. So we're going to tell them to grab up some grain and bring it to our one lonely house over here. There we go. These 4 guys live in the base, apparently. They got a nice little house over here. Look at this piece of crap. They got something nice going on. Alright, so we're going to complete that quest, and it's going to ask us to build paths. Now these paths, I click 2, or you can click the build menu, and there's much stuff to unlock. But what these paths will allow is these guys to actually walk around quicker, and it'll actually allow for the passage of goods to every house later on. So you want to build a good path system too, so that you can distribute stuff really well. So since this house is full of food, he's got nothing else to do. This guy's just chilling out here too. Actually, you, good sir, you can start chopping some wood, bringing it to base while you're standing around. Okay, so we built our path. Crazy complex stuff. Now it's going to ask us to build a lumber mill. What lumber mills do is they turn wood into planks. So we're going to have to gather 5 stone, which we've actually already done because I told this guy early to start doing it. He's been working like a good employee. And let's do this. Buildings. Lumber mill. Oh, see what the problem is here? We can't build this because I have no available workers. So what we're going to do is take this worker here. This worker here. There we go. Since we have them highlighted, I don't need them anymore and I want to use them inside of a building. I'm actually going to press delete and bam, he's gone. You didn't kill him. He just went back into no man's land and you'll actually be able to build that mill. So let's go ahead, grab that. There we go. So as you see, now we have 1 population available, 5 stone, 20 wood. We're going to actually build this somewhere nice and close to a large amount of wood. This wood here looks like wood I'm going to want to get rid of. So we'll build this here. Oh, it's on a little bit of an angle too. So you want to do this like this. There we go. So keep it all on the same level as you can. And now that we've built that, it's going to unlock a whole bunch of stuff for us. This stuff is very useful. Chutes are actually the fastest mode of transportation in the game. They're hard to automate it with, but they have their place. And then you get scaffolding ramps, scaffolding and whatnot, and wood bench as a decoration. So we'll go over this over time. This does have a very good use, but we don't really need it quite yet. Okay, so how you use the building, and that's what it's trying to explain to us, is you want to click on it, then go down to select recipe, and then select the recipe. We only have 1 recipe in here right now, of course, so we're going to make ourselves some planks. So in order to make planks, you're going to need 2 wood, which will take 3 seconds, and it'll make 1 plank for you. So what we're going to need to do here is these guys are all collecting wood because we told them to. They're all collecting wood and putting it into our base. So our base is actually holding 93 wood. We're doing pretty well there. We'll leave that. What this is here is your personal inventory. Anything that's in here, you'll be able to build with. So think of it as like kind of like your own pockets, where this stuff isn't available to build with until it's in a storage container. So anyway, let's reassign a few of these guys to chopping them trees to making them planks. Just like that. There we go. All right. So this is going to take a minute. As you can see, it takes a couple and then 1. If you still have it open here, you can actually see the progression bar. Okay, so now it's asking us to do what I explained here earlier. It wants us to actually take the planks from the lumber mill and make sure that they're in our inventory here. So I'm going to scoop up this guy here, because he's just storing grain for us. So we can sacrifice him. What we need to do is tell him to go over to the lumber mill. And we want him to grab the wood planks and take them over to the base. So what I'm doing is just basically holding it down and releasing it on the building with the left mouse button. See, there we go. Now what he's doing is he's grabbing those wood planks that are being made and bringing them over to our base, so they're in our storage and we can build with them now. Okay, so next step, it's going to ask us to actually upgrade the house. So it'll you can only build a set amount of houses. Like we have 1 of 4 houses up at the top. But you can actually upgrade these to increase the population per house. There we go. Now the thing is they'll actually ask for more things. So instead of just being happy with some grain kicking around, they might want some fruit now. They might want maybe some tomatoes going on too. So, oh, look at that. See, they just ate. Nice. So we got that upgraded. It's going to ask us to go ahead and upgrade our base level too. So to do that, we're going to need 20 coins. So it's going to take a little while for these guys to consume some food. So I think we're safe to go ahead and actually just build ourselves another house. Now, I really highly recommend to build these things in a nice order. Actually, they're both facing a different direction, but in a nice order and wrapped around with roads so that they can be accessed at least on one side for each house. Okay, so we've gotten 20 coins here. Another thing I could do too, because eventually we will fill up on planks. I do forget what the total is, but I know it's like 600 on your raw resources, so you can actually gather quite a bit of planks. But you could also get this worker to grab the planks out of here and bring them to a home to sell them. Or, I'm sorry, here we go. I did that wrong. See, that's a level 1 house. We can bring it to the level 2 house. There we go. A level 2 house will want a plank, where a level 1 house just doesn't give a crap. So you have to remember that too. You kind of have to upgrade the houses along with your production and then deliver that stuff to the houses. So that's kind of your goal here. So there we go. Let's go ahead and upgrade our base. Bang. We can have up to 8 houses now. So we just doubled our amount of homes we can have. So let's go ahead, progress through that. Now, there are different types of coins. We have these kind of yellow coins. That's for your economy. We have red coins, which is used for research. So stuff like planks will actually give you red coins. As you can see, we're getting them from the guy delivering the planks to the 2nd level house. So now it's time to get over this whole get a worker to grab some food, stand around, grab something, bring it to the home thing, because, I mean, he's really wasting a lot of time, right? So let's go ahead and build our first market. So what this thing does is it will deliver food to a home that is in this area. You don't need to have anyone go grab the food, bring the food, but anywhere that's in this area, it'll actually do that for you. So now this is where it takes a little bit of planning. What I'm gonna do is actually build these. I think we can always backfill this. Like, honestly, you can. There's a lot of landscaping tools. It costs coin though. So once you got like some good production up, you'll be able to do it. So what we're gonna do is plan on our residential area being in this circle. So I'm gonna go ahead and plant this guy down. Which way do I want to do it? I want to give one space on this side here so I can build a road, and then we'll build our system in behind, our delivery system to the food market, because you can automate stuff after a while. That's the whole point. Get automation done. So for now, in order to get stuff delivered to the homes, we only have 2, but we're going to go ahead and connect that by road. So if you look now, when I click on the food market, it also highlights the roads and the 2 homes that are attached to it. So now it'll automatically deliver anything that's in the food market to those homes, making coin for you. So we're going to take this guy and we're going to tell him to come grab this grain and bring it over to the food market over here. And this worker is standing around with planks. He can actually go and grab some tomatoes bring those to the food market. Because if we take a look here, different stuff sells for more. So tomatoes actually sell for 1, and grain sells for 1. Oh, I thought tomatoes sell for, oh, it's apples that sell for a little more. But if you ever need to take a look, you just kind of hover over the sell goods, and it gives you a good idea of what you might want to invest in to sell. So the next step in the tutorial is to actually build a grain mill, which will turn this into more valuable stuff to sell to the peoples. You can actually turn it into flour. So if we take a look here and we take a look at it, flour sells for 4, where grain sells for 1. So you give a little bit of time, a few workers, and you make a little bit more money. So we're going to go ahead, open our build menu, go to buildings, and we are going to build our first grain mill. So let's go ahead and place that literally right, where do I want to put this? Yeah, up here with like the majority of it. So we're going to want to build auto delivery systems to make gathering a little quicker here. So with our grain mill, what it's going to want us to do is start producing flour. So each flour takes 3 grain and 4 seconds. So it does take a little while to make, but it's definitely worth it because your happiness increases your production rate. So the more you give your citizens, the more variety, the more things they need, the more they produce. So it's a really good long-term game. After the first couple playthroughs, I kind of learned how to manage the space a little better. So we're going to go ahead and build flour at this one. So that took up 1 of our citizens, leaving us with a couple. We can actually take them, tell them to actually bring the grain over here. So we're going to do that. There we go. And over time, it'll deliver us some flour. So what I'll want to do is actually get this guy here to come grab the flour and bring it to our food market because it's much more valuable than this grain. There we go. Look at him. He's just kind of hopping along. So if you hover over them or yeah, there we go. If you hover over them while they're not selected, whoops, too many buttons. Let's tell them to do that again. There we go. Bang. So if you hover over them, it actually shows you their path if you ever need to take a look. Now, eventually, you'll automate all this and you won't have a bunch of little guys hopping around your map. But do enjoy it while you do. They're quite charming. Okay, so he's brought some flour to the market. We've got that quest done with. So now it's going to want us to build a workshop. So now we're actually going to start getting into more advanced recipes where we need like buildings before buildings before buildings. So let's go ahead and actually build our first workshop here. I'm going to go to buildings, pressing B for the build menu. And here's our workshop here if I can find it. If you can't find anything because the menus actually end up getting huge, you can click in the search area. There you go, workshop. So I think the best idea is to actually make our workshop over here because this is where all our wood and stone and everything is. All our food, you kind of want to start separating stuff, right? Like we want all our stone, wood stuff up here, all our food stuff down in the other area because you automate it, make it bigger over time. So what that did was unlocked us a decoration called fence, decoration called half stairs, allows workers to climb up a level. Actually, it's not really a decoration. That's a very useful thing. This actually keeps them from going in areas. So if you actually only want them to path along a path, building a fence will block them off. And then, of course, we got wagons. These things will be replacing our workers as soon as possible. So, like I said, we're going to be building these as soon as possible. What it wants us to do here is actually go ahead and build some wood wheels, because you need wood wheels to build wagons. Oh, that was a lot of words. So we're going to go ahead, select wood wheels for the recipe. And if we take a look, we're going to need 2 planks and 5 seconds to build 1 wheel. So I'm going to go ahead and actually grab this worker here that's gathering wood. Tell him to grab the planks out of there and bring them on over to the workshop over here. And then eventually we'll have to scoop a worker. I think it's actually time here to upgrade a house. 50 coin. We need 5 stone brick. Oh, I can't upgrade because we don't have that yet. So what we can do though is build another low level house. And in turn, that actually helps the economy because this low level house will buy some more of that flour and or grain. Yep, see? It's all connected. Perfect. Oh, also, if you click on the building, it shows you all the workers that are involved with that building too. He's really polished this game since I've played it last. I appreciate this. So since we built another house, we have a couple spare workers now. So I'm going to go ahead, tell him to grab the wood wagons, and of course, the wagon wheels. And of course, to be able to actually use that item, I have to take it out of the workshop and put it into a storage. And that could be our base, it could be a storage unit. There's several different storage units in the game. So the advantage here of having a wagon over top of a worker is that the wagon carries 4 items and it's faster. So we're actually going to check that out now. We're going to go ahead and start building ourselves some wagons. Now, in order, because I'm not going to really be building workers anymore. If I do, I'll come to the build menu and do it, or I'll just copy the worker. Anyway, we're going to go Shift 1. Okay, let's try that again. It's actually changed a little bit since then. So in order to actually get this item into your hotbar, because I'm going to be using this more than this. Actually, you know what? Let's replace number 2 with a worker. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that item. I'm going to press Shift and then I'm going to press 2. And there we go. So now he's actually in the hotbar. The tutorial actually doesn't mention how to do this, and it's still a little weird to do, but it's very helpful in the long run. Now, another tip too is, like, if I want to build another workshop and I don't want to go into the creative menu, or I don't have it in my toolbar here, I can hover over it and press C, and I can copy the item. Alright, so it's shooting us straight in the chutes here. Chutes are incredibly handy. We're actually going to be taking a look at that. But before we do, what I'm going to do is actually take a wagon and replace a worker with it. The worker I'm going to replace with it is this guy here. He's very slow. Like, let's take a look at our grain mill here. Let's place down our nice little wagon here. Let's take a look. So our output is full. We got way too much coming in, and it's not leaving quick enough. So what we're going to do is take this worker and poof, he's gone. We're going to select the wagon and do the same thing we did with the worker. So I want the wagon to bring that from there to here. And now I need my footpath, and I got rid of it with a worker. So we're actually going to change out number 4 for a footpath. So let's go ahead, select footpath, Shift 4, bang. Just like that. That easy. Make ourselves a path. So there we go. So after a couple times, I do believe the wagon will use it once the AI kind of chills out and realizes, oh, hey, there's a path here, and that's much quicker. So there we go. So now we'll actually be, there we go. See, it's figured it out. And look, it's moving along quicker. So now it's going to take that flour 4 at a time. Bang. Oh, I was like, wait, that's only 3, but it made 1 immediately. And it's going to bring it to here. Now, I'm going to let this run a little while. If it calls for enough, I can actually get 2 wagons and keep bringing it over here, and it will actually make us more and more coin. Like, look at that. We have 204 coins already. So now it's asking us to actually build a chute. Now, usually I do longer chutes, but we'll use it for this. So they work like a chute would. On a downslope, it never goes up. So we're going to start building, hold our mouse button down, and drag it into the building. You see where the in arrows are? Those are all the input slots. You can use them. So now I can tell this worker, hey, stand here, and just drop that right into the chute, and bang. He'll literally stand there and drop the items in, and then they fly into the building. So it actually saves you on time from the worker walking back and forth. These are very, very useful tools. You'll want to use them as like your buildings or stuff, or your, just long distance travel, right? Like, I want to get rid of this stuff, but I don't want to spend money doing it. So I may as well get them to farm it out before we expand over this way. So it's asking us now to upgrade our base level. So we may as well. We got 50 coins, 5 wheels. We actually got 23 wheels kicking in there now. That's a good amount. And 20 stone. And we have tons of that. So let's go ahead and do that. So now we have paper. Paper is good for research. We will see that very shortly here. And we can build more homes as we need. Now, I do recommend not building too many homes at once. Just kind of take your time, expand things as you go. It's really easy to unbalance the game. If your happiness drops like way low, it can actually almost be game ending for you. So there is like no natural enemies or anything. The only enemy really is yourself and your lack of urban planning. Alright, so it's going to ask us now to build a general store. And the general store is the exact same idea as a food market, but it delivers stuff like planks. It delivers stuff like stone bricks that you can sell to the population because they need to fix and maintain their homes, right? So they'll buy that stuff up, no problem. So what we're going to do here is build that building, our general store, once we have enough planks kicking around. Hey, are you stealing planks from... Ah, you are too. Oh wait, no. That's right. I have this guy actually grabbing planks from over there. So I'm actually going to grab up an extra worker just because we have a few kicking around. And you can start saving up some planks for us. So keep that in mind. If you're using stuff in one building, you also need to be storing it at the same time too because you need it to build stuff. Let's wait this out. So I've got together the amount of planks I need for my general store. So I'm going to build it right here at the crossroads. We're going to make a crossroads of stuff here. Like I said, I actually plan on getting rid of this water at some point. If you take your time and you're careful, you can actually end up getting tons of coins and stuff, which can also save your butt in case your happiness drops, which does happen if you're not careful. Holy crap. How many times can I say careful? Alright, so it actually didn't ask us to do anything with the general store. It's just like, there you go, general store. You completed. So what I want to do with the general store here is grab some planks from here and bring them on down to here. But we are at max population, so I think I'm going to go ahead and build myself up a couple houses. Actually, to save myself time, I can just press that C, that copy button. Such a good button. There we go. One house there. And we cannot afford. So with that extra population, I'm going to go ahead here and tell this worker to grab it and bring these planks down here. That way we can start saving up our red coins to do our research quest here that's coming up next. There we go. See? He brought it here and it sold it instantly to this house. Perfect. You know, I'm actually going to take this worker right here, the one doing that. I'm going to tell him to grab trees. There we go. Bring them over to the lumber mill. And then I'm going to take another wagon because we have some wheels kicking around. We can afford to make another one. And tell that wagon to bring the planks down here. Much quicker and more at a time. Also, to save time, make it more efficient, it looks like we have some room for chutes here. So let's go ahead, drag a chute into that building, and then we can grab these workers, tell them to work over here. Now, if things are moving too fast for you, you can come down here to the bottom, press pause, or press the space button. So there we go. We can actually take a second, tell him to grab that tree, bring it there, tell this worker, okay, grab that tree, bring it there, and then there we go, we're good to go. Oh, look at that, we had one hiding. There you go, you can drop them off there too. And as you can see, it's actually quicker because they don't have to do the walking, right? They're almost literally standing beside it, tossing tree into it. And don't explain to me how this works as a log rolling thing, but it's good. I love those animations of this game. So it is time to start dabbling in research. So for research, honestly, you don't need to have this thing very like in your population. You can kind of just build it over to the side. So the first thing we're going to do is we're actually going to go ahead and build ourselves a school. Once we have some more population, which means we need some more homes here. See how kind of it's a careful balance. We can build up to 12, and honestly, we don't have that many homes right now, so we're doing pretty well. I'm going to build another home, I think. Ooh, I can't afford. It is, oh, wow, these basic homes, I forgot about that. They actually take wood itself. So I don't have anyone gathering wood, but we do have plenty of stone. So I'll change the stone guy, and he can start building up some wood for us. So let's go ahead. We should be able now to, anyway, build a school here. Here we go. Allows research of new technologies that can greatly improve and optimize your town. This is actually, it's a great thing to have. So we're going to build our school right here, we'll say. Perfect. Bang. So now it'll tell you the lumber mill can now produce paper. This recipe requires water. You can tell a worker to bring water or place a new lumber mill next to water to automatically supply it. So right away, like we're right at the water's edge, right? So for now, we're actually going to build ourselves a lumber mill and right at the edge of the water. So let's grab that up and place it. Where are we going to place that thing? We can't afford it right now. What do we need? We still need a whole bunch of logs. Oh, see? We got some backlog going on. So I grabbed a worker here that was not doing anything because this workshop right now is not producing wood wheels. We got 21 going on. I feel pretty happy with that. We will have to divert at some point and build ourselves some more wheels so we can make more wagons. But I went ahead and told him to gather some wood, so it was a little quicker. I got tired of waiting. So we can go now and build our lumber mill right along the edge of the water. You'll see it'll actually turn blue, and that'll tell you the building's watered. So perfect. So in here, we're going to want to go select the recipe paper. It takes 2 wood, 1 water, which you don't have to gather because the building has it itself. But you will need to have workers to go and get that wood to bring it to the building. So if we take a look for backlogs here, pun intended again, we have these workers here who are actually overproducing. So I'm going to take one of these guys over here and tell him, chop these trees, which are conveniently right next to the building, and put the logs in there so that we can make ourselves some paper. So there you go. And as you can tell, this is a little bit of a longer process. You're going to need 2 wood and then 4 seconds on the timer. But we're actually producing paper now. So this is a school. In order to get stuff researched, what you're going to need is writing supplies. So there's different levels of writing supplies, which gets you through stuff quicker. You have paper, books, enchanted books. We'll go into that way in the future here. But for now, we can produce papers. So that'll be our writing supplies in order to do the research. So my favorite to do first is actually basic logistics, and then work my way through these ones here. So farming second, basic logistics first. Actually, no, sorry. We're going to go with farming first this time so we can set ourselves up a farm right away. So we're going to select the farming research. Bang. If I don't get too far ahead of here. So it says the school need lots of papers and coins to complete the research. So of course you need coins too, right? Like look, we're banking already, right? We're doing pretty well. This, by the way, guys, is a slow-paced game. Take your time, enjoy it, have a cup of coffee, smoke a little something, do whatever you do to have fun. Have a couple drinks. I don't know how you play this game drunk, but anyway, so it's telling us now to actually go ahead and get this done. So now we have paper in here, and we need to get that paper to the school. A little trick with this is you can actually... Ooh, we need more population capacity. Okay, and it looks like then what I'll do... Expand the roads a bit, and we should be able to build ourselves a house now. Copy that. And... yes, now the reason some of these cost a little more planks to build is because they're on the side of a hill, and it'll actually make the platforms. You've seen those earlier in the game to fill them in, so it costs you that little bit of extra. So anyway, now we have extra population here, so we're going to put a wagon literally right in between these builds. You can tell that wagon, grab the paper, put the paper in this building. So if you look at that, the wagon literally sits there and just almost auto transfers it. It comes out of here, sits in there, goes to there. So that's a good trick for quick transportation in between buildings early on. So this farming recipe is going to take 50 of those papers. As you see, it takes 1 paper. See, like a book counts pretty much, I think, as 10 paper. That's how that works. And a couple coins. So it's going to chew through your coin real quick if you're not paying attention doing research. So in the future, bank up a bit before you start a heavy research. So we're going to let this run here. And that's going to take a little while. So I might want to start optimizing what I got going on down here. So for now, I have this guy up here, and he's gathering tomatoes, but he's taking a little while because he's running back and forth. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to build a chute. This might be a little expensive. Drag it into the building, and oh, look at this. I messed it up here. So if you have to delete anything, right-click on your mouse, just like that. So I'm going to press the R button, and oh, look at that. It actually did the right rotation for me. Awesome. So now, that cost me a little bit, but I could take this guy here, tell him to take his tomatoes, and drop them down in the chute. Look at this. Got ourselves a little bit of a tomato chute. Look at the tomatoes go down and right into the food market. So he doesn't have to run. And we just increased by quite a bit how much money we're making too on the side. And it also gives variety to these guys. They love variety. As you can see, like 2 of 4 of different things that I can feed them. Okay, because this is here too, I may as well take advantage of this and actually take the grain and also put the grain into there. Oh, he's going to do a little bit of walking. Now, they only stay this efficient for so long because they'll end up farming this out, right? And then moving on to another one. But it's real quick right off the bat. Look at that. Now we got some grain, which is a yellow ball, and some tomatoes. I love this game. Automation is so much fun. Now, if you look too, our happiness is actually plus 16. So that actually gave us a production percent boost of 10%, which is not bad at all, actually. We're doing pretty well. So that means like these guys will farm this 25% faster. This thing will produce planks 25% faster, which is actually doing a decent job now. Doesn't seem like these guys are really able to keep up anymore. So what I'll do is I'll take one of these guys that are storing the wood for us, move them over here. So now that we have a little bit of extra coin on us, I think it's time here to start organizing this a little better because this wagon's going in like a weird direction. Oh, look at that. We just completed our research for farming. New research available, animal pasture. Nice. So we'll take a look at this here soon. Farming is awesome to get into. I really enjoy the farming aspect of this game. So what we're going to do is leave that there for now. We're going to go into building to remove some special stuff. What you go is you go to tools in your build menu. You can't use remove block to get rid of these. And you go to remove resource. And if you see, to remove a resource, it takes 10 coins. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of that grain that's in the way. So we can actually build our path here a little bit. And this guy, look at that, he already pathed to it. So I'm going to create a little bit better of a footpath up to there for now. And then we can build some more houses along here. So next step in our quest here is add a building worker. So you can actually add workers to building. Like this lumber mill here. Let's say that this thing... Oh, we actually have too many workers. Let's go ahead and plant down another house here first so that I can actually show you guys. There we go. Let's mix it up a bit. We'll put that house facing that direction. Okay, so now we have a few more workers. So let's say like your input's getting jammed. It's, you know, you have too much input, not enough output. You can come to the lumber mill, and where you see the workers line here, at any of these places here that build anything, each one has its own separate limit, and you can increase its workers. So by adding another worker, I increase the speed to 138. Oh, my happiness keeps flipping back and forth. So you can see as it gets like bumped up to 20, it actually went up to 150% speed. But now that it's sitting at 19, we have 130, 150%. It'll actually produce those planks rather faster. So it actually reduces the craft time on it. Now, just a note too, like your base is 110%. By adding 1, you added 28. It gets more valuable as your happiness goes up. But early game, remember that it's only so much. Sometimes it's better to actually build a second building and get another 110% speed on a separate one. So here is where we actually get to the real grind. Now, as you can see, my happiness is actually dropping down a bit. We have a little bit of an issue. If we take a look at our food market inventory, our inventory as grain is full. The grain is not moving as fast as the tomatoes do. So I'm actually going to take this worker off of grain duty, and he can help chop some trees and keep up with our plank production here. So now is a good time too, because what we're going to do is expand our production, do different buildings. We're going to start setting up like our major long-term productions, and we're going to start producing different more items for the village here to get that happiness and production up while expanding our research and learning new things. So for the next research, we're going to go ahead and whack off that basic logistics here. So there we go. So we got the basic logistics going. For this one, it actually takes 2 paper per and 5 seconds per each and 4 yellow coins. So this one will take a little while. It's pretty much double what the last one was. But honestly, being able to make conveyor belts and your logistics stuff is key. So if we take a look out here, we can see that these guys have actually taken a good chunk of this grain out. It's not all gone yet, but they've taken a good chunk out. So I think up here, it's pretty clear up here. There's not too much to clear away, is where we're going to start our farms at. So what I'm going to do is actually start using some of the tools that we're given to flatten out the land. We're going to make it kind of cool and multi-leveled and whatnot. I think it would look pretty damn awesome. So let's go into our build menu. This is a slower process because I'm spending a lot of coin on landscaping, but I think it's really worth it. And that's why I really enjoy playing this game. Is being able to landscape too is pretty damn cool. So we're going to use the tool. Oh, I'm sorry. I use this red coins for landscaping. So yeah, it's actually going to be way too expensive at the moment to be able to do that. So let's look then at what we could sell to people to get our red coin production up to be able to do that. So if we take a look at our general store here, which is servicing all our homes, we could sell stone bricks. Yes, I think that is a good choice for next. So, of course, in order to get stone bricks, we have to do some masonry research. So now I'm looking here. Of course, we got a little bit of a stall again. So I'm going to add that extra worker. And, oh, look at that. We got our boost up because, oh, see, they're still not using grain up. What am I going to do to supplement that for now until we get our farms going? Let's tell this guy to actually bring some of this grain that's sitting right here over to our food market. We'll have to get rid of this eventually, so may as well use it up while it's here. Just a note, workers and wagons don't run into each other, but 2 wagons will run into each other. So taking a look at my my villagers here, this guy here moving the planks from the lumber mill down to the base, we have 325 planks kicking around for now. So I feel pretty comfortable with that. We have good enough. I'm actually going to tell that guy to come over here and start chopping down some wood because now the input is not keeping up with the output, right? So this thing here will be going fully loaded to the general store to sell everything all at once, and it really should pump up our red coin production. So since I gotta wait a little bit to level out the land, because you can see there's a little bit of variance in the land, and for farming I really want to flatten that one out. Okay, so I'm using the train flatten down tool, and I think I can actually, at least for now, Yeah, we'll bump the farms up. I think one. We'll make it look real good. But I want to start flattening this area out here, because you can't plant farm plants and stuff on angles, right? And the farms themselves are actually quite large. Oh no, I ran out of red coin already. So we'll take a look here at the farm itself. Here, where'd it go? There we go. Look how large they are. So you want that pretty much on all flat land, right? But for now, we actually don't even really need that much flat land because you'll eventually expand them all the way out. But we don't need that much right now, that many farm plots. So this will actually probably be good here. So I'm going to sacrifice this worker right here. We're still going to keep one so the production at the grain mill goes. But that should give us just enough to build the farm here. There we go. Perfect. Bang. Unlocked farm tile. There we go. So for this farm here, what you're going to want to do, we'll take a look. I'll show you guys what's going on here. If you go to farming mining, you're going to want to build farm tiles. But in order to do that, you're actually going to need fertilizer. So as you can see, it's going to farm stuff that's already in the area. So instead of putting it there for now, because we can't make fertilizer until we get animal plots, that's what all the research is for. We're actually going to drop this guy. Right. Oh, he can do sugar. We can do quite a bit of this. Actually, right here would be a really good spot. Yeah, there we go. We got some wheat going on. We got sugar. And we got some berries in there. We'll move this back once we're ready to go. So if we take a look here, because there's a lot of stuff in the area, you could tell it to harvest grain, harvest herb, harvest sugar, or harvest berries. So we're going to go with berries and grain for this place here. There we are. And it already has a worker. So there's stuff coming out of it. There's stuff coming out. So it's actually producing now. Now, another thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to water farms and stuff in the future. But once we get the pastures unlocked, I'll show you guys that. Since this farm is very far away from our population, I'm going to go ahead and make a path here because we are going to use, ignore this, you don't need to see this. I just wanted to see how much we could roll out of there. We'll play a little, we'll play around with that a little later here. There we go. I'm going to actually want to get a wagon here to transport all of this stuff over to here. And we actually might need two just because of the far distance it is. Let's go ahead, build ourselves some more homes. So I just copied a home. So we're going to have one there. I'll get rid of this grain here at some point. So our next one then would actually fit perfectly right there. And that will give us the employees we need. One wagon, two wagon, and we're probably actually getting low. Yes, we are. We're getting low on wood wheels too. So I might want to take a look at making those at some point. So we're going to tell it to grab berries up here. And bring those berries all the way over to market. There we go. And you, good sir, you can grab grain. Yeah, actually, here we go. You will do grain. And bring that grain over to this grain mill here. And this guy can go back into the workforce. Okay, so I'm going to actually get that started right away. I'm going to tell one of these guys to grab some extra planks out of here because this wagon just isn't keeping up with our production. So we got to keep it moving, right? These guys are just standing around. And you can bring them over here to actually start slowly making us wheels. And there we go. So that gave us, with the addition of the berries and stuff, it gave us plus 28 happiness, which actually got us through the Raise Happiness quest. There we go. And that is the end of the basic tutorial here. Now, guys, I absolutely love this game, and I do plan on making more episodes of it. Definitely, if you want to check more out, let me know down in the comments. I know it's not everyone's type of game, but if you've watched my Satisfactory content, it's a lot similar. So there is a lot still to cover. There's conveyor belts. Like, we can start automating this. Instead of having wagons and stuff running around, and people running around. You have conveyor belts, and then you can layer the conveyor belts. It gets real exciting and real dorky, and I love it. I absolutely love it. So make sure you guys check out the next episode. I will release these randomly, most likely probably on weekends. But I do hope you guys enjoyed, and it's you can find this game on Steam. Factory Town, great little game. Peace out, guys. Remember, back up them game saves, and I'll see you later. Have a good one.
No matter what you people say, I'm gonna do my thing my way. No matter what you people do, I'm gonna do my thing much better than you. No matter what you say or do, oh boy, you're out of luck. It's gonna roll right off of me like water off the back of a duck. And I go, yeah, I go. Yeah, I go.
Good boy. Fist bump.